Such a peaceful and warm intro track for the DJ Sessions live interviews. I just feel like I don't know if I want to go to church, if I want to go to sleep with those. Today, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington. And coming in all the way, I hope I've got this right, we got Florian Kruse coming in from Berlin. And you can hear me, so that's not good. Although my audio is registering, so interesting. I should be coming in just fine. And see, yeah, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on this show. Let me check something really quick, and I'll see if we are getting audio on my end. Audio is coming through on my end. Checked with the live stream. So Florian is going to jump out and jump back in, and he'll be right back because, you know, technical mishaps happen, and that's what happens during a live stream. You never know what you're going to get, but I can guarantee you on today's show with Florian Kruse, we're going to be getting into some really awesome stuff, getting into some backgrounds of how he got started, his new albums, events he's been playing, partnerships, and all that fun stuff. And this is the part of the show where you actually have to start making up stuff off the top of your head because you never know, like I said, what's going to happen during a live show. Rather than taking a break, we're going to play, let's test and see how long Darren can keep this going while he's in the middle of a live stream. To give you a little history, and while you're waiting, you can always go to our website and check out thedjsessions.com. That's thedjsessions.com. And it looks like we're going to get Florian back in here right now. Let's click on and see what happens. Florian, you there?
I'm here. Thank you, man.
Hey,
Sorry.
Look at that. Florian Kruse on the DJ Sessions. Thank you, and thank you for coming in. Well, welcome to another episode of the DJ Sessions, where we feature the best DJs, producers, and electronic music industry professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and on the other end, coming in, I always get these screens mixed up because I always switch them around, but we got Florian Kruse coming in from Berlin, Germany, correct?
Yeah, I used to live in Berlin. I have like a second flat there. So
Okay.
Right now I'm in Hamburg.
In Hamburg, all right. Awesome.
Yeah.
How far is Hamburg from Berlin?
Oh, it's like with the train, it's 1 hour 45 minutes.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah,
that's nothing. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on the virtual sessions today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for
absolutely. You know, I was going through doing some research on you before the show and checking stuff out, and realized something. I came to a very quick conclusion that you've been a DJ and producer since you were about 16 years old.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any other jobs besides that, or have you always just been DJ producer?
I mean, it was always my dream, like DJing and making music and stuff. But of course, at the very beginning, I had other jobs to survive and to make make money for living. I don't love to say that, but I'm a bank clerk. So that was the first thing I did, like an apprenticeship to to bank clerk. Yeah, the hardest 3 years of my life, I think, because I did something I'm not passionate about, which is never good. I realized, but I finished it, and I think my parents at that time have been happy that I have like something solid in the background, you know. And I can say that until today, it still helps me in like on the finance side and stuff like that, you know. Because I'm self-employed since I think like 20 or 21 years old. No, I'm 39. It's a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I found that, while I always loved working corporate jobs growing up, I've worked for a number of different companies, some very notable companies in the world, Apple and Nordstrom's, and that led to preparing me to be an entrepreneur. I found that in 2009, I left corporate America behind and said, I'm going into business for myself. And I never really looked back. And now it's been about 13 years that, and it's tough when you go out there. I didn't walk away from any of these companies. My last job was working for Apple. I didn't walk away with like $500,000 in stock options and I could be comfortable. Like, some of these Google employees are getting, some of
Yeah.
the Amazon employees getting, 250,000 or $500,000 a year in stock options after they complete their contracts, already making nice six figures. I didn't have that when I walked away. I walked away with almost not even 2 pennies to rub together. So, trying to build something up over the years with that, where the DJ sessions is now at, I can commend that and just all the things that can happen along the way, ups and downs. And it's great to hear that you're still going after 21 years, basically,
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm a music producer also on the side of I do music for documentaries and commercials, like Kenny Larkin, for example. I think he's doing the same, and some other music producers in the electronic music business as well. And that's something that popped up in the last 5 years, and especially was strong during Corona, when I was not able to tour or play any shows. So yeah, that's also very interesting for me to dive into other directions of music, and even being able to produce something which is orchestral or which is more cinematic, and getting a bit out of my comfort range of electronic music and do something different. That's great.
If you could pick one Hollywood director to score a movie for,
Wow,
who would
okay.
that be?
Oh, that's a very, very hard question, because I'm not the biggest. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to the cinema very often. I think the last time I've been to the cinema was like Star Wars 3 episodes before, something like that. So I think at least like 5 or 6 years ago. I actually don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's so it's a question we ask sometimes, just when people talk about, their musical career.
Yeah.
Maybe they started as a DJ, they went into producing, and then they do find side work, either producing commercial or producing scoring for film and television, and even ghost producing sometimes, making tracks and doing that as a side gig. So it's okay. But you do, and you did just recently start up, I believe one of your passions was the 10 for the Club show.
10 for the Club is my podcast series. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm running this since quite some time now, but I've been actually a little lazy because it's called 10 club tracks in just 1 hour mixed together, like 10 of my favorite club tracks. And during Corona, I was not really into that mood, So I had like a little, I paused it for a while, and now where clubs are open again and stuff is happening again, I just restarted it. Yeah, with the second episode, which I uploaded yesterday. Yeah.
Yep.
Please go to my SoundCloud and have a listen.
Yeah, I was listening to it right before the show. I was loving it. I think that's a great concept. Obviously 10 for the Club. Can you tell our DJ Sessions viewers a little bit about the premise or the idea behind 10 for the Club? I get it. Maybe just so they get it.
Yeah, of course. Like 10 for the Club, the idea is having, or like, let me start from another perspective. So I'm sometimes, before my gigs, I'm sometimes looking for cool club tracks, and it's like really hard to find something new and something special, or something I would really play in a club, because most of the artists, when they do a DJ mix, which is like available online on SoundCloud or on other platforms, it's very artistic, like special kind of tracks, like also showing the artistic side, but not really the kind of stuff that they play in the club. So I wanted to give my audience the chance to listen to the tracks I like playing loud in clubs, and even like from start to maybe later hours, like the beginning of the last show, for example, is very smooth, like with the And Me remix of Who Made Who, for example, or a Kind of Music remix of Solomon, and then it's picking up, and that's like the concept behind it. Like 10 tracks I would play in a club at the moment.
Awesome. I think that's a great series. And again, you're right. Since things are opening back up, I could see that podcast going pretty far. And you said you were doing that for a couple of years now, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And that was episode. You don't label the episodes. That's just your
Yeah,
summer.
yeah, I did. And
Oh,
now,
okay.
like now restarting, I was just calling it like March edition, and this is the
Yeah.
summer edition. So yeah, it's not like monthly at the moment
Mhm.
because I'm just like trying to get into it again, you know. So but I'm pretty sure I'm going to run it like more frequently, like every single month there will be a new episode. Gonna promise this for maybe end of the year, starting on a monthly basis. Yeah.
And do you regularly listen to any other podcasts or live streams or radio shows?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
What are
yeah, I
your
do.
What are your top three that you listen to?
It's like they are German, so I don't know. It's like that's like one is it's really hard because it's you don't. I think you might don't know it.
We'll
We
see
have
if Facebook. We'll see if Facebook's automatic closed captioning can get them.
Yeah, okay. So one is called, which is just like for driving and just listening. It's called Fest and Flauschig. It's a
Okay.
German name. It's like two. It's one TV guy and a musician being on a chat on a weekly basis, just about everything, about music, but also about like life and about what's happening in the world right now. And that's just like having it in the car while doing long distances. And yeah, then I'm not the biggest comedy fan, but there's just like one guy who's doing it for me in Germany. His name is Klaas Häufer Umlauf, and he has a podcast series called Baywatch, and that's very funny. So I love listening to that one. And then there's another one, the third one, that's like music based and not English as well. So let me get the name. It's like, can I get on the guest list or something? It's what is it like? I don't have the exact name right now, but it's also funny. It's like talking, it's like a talk between two DJs and about Ibiza, about like club life and about like experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, let me look it up and I can write to you
It's
so you can
okay.
share it later to your audience. Yeah, but that's
Facebook.
also very nice.
Yeah, Facebook definitely did not get the names of the shows in the closed caption.
Yeah,
But you know what? What's beautiful is people can always just rewind and listen
yeah,
to it. Rewind and listen to it. And yeah, if
yeah,
you get the name of the third one in there, we'll throw it. We'll keep it in the show.
yeah,
Absolutely. But you also just recently released an EP, Then, correct?
yeah,
Or is
yeah.
it VEN or is it Then?
Yeah, you can say Van. It's a Swedish island, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
Julian Wasserman and I, we like teamed up again for another EP, and our most successful EP so far was on Compact Records, like a label from Cologne, which is like one of my dream labels. And so yeah, and we called it Orust, is another Swedish island, and then Gotland, maybe that's the one people know. And this EP is called Ven, and there are two more tracks on it called Öland and Torsjö. Yeah, another two Swedish islands.
And how has that been received out there in online and in the clubs?
Yeah, it's like I get great feedback also from amazing artists such as Kölsch, for example, who's playing it, and then yeah, also like some other DJs, Be Better, and who else? Adam Bayer is playing it. Yeah, we got like amazing support, and I've been invited to Mark Romboy's show. It's also a virtual show together with Robert Babich, and we had a chat about everything. That was really great. And I think like it's a real like club EP, you know. It's like it's techno and yeah, pretty upfront.
And congratulations on getting that signing. I had the pleasure of having Robert on the show not too long
Yeah,
ago, and
really. Okay,
he
good.
is such a nice guy. And when
Yeah,
him and Mark launched their kind of their online series, I was like, that's great for
yeah,
aspiring
absolutely.
artists, and how
Yeah,
nice Robert is that he will literally say, if you send me your track, I'll give you my honest feedback about it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever watched one of his shows where he has the tracks and he's talking about it. And he's like, this one I was watching, he's like, where's the bass? Where's the bass? Where's the low end of this? You're not putting enough low end. And I mean, he was being, I wouldn't say it would call it brutally honest, but he was being honest, and people need to hear that honesty. I think, more than they need to hear, oh, it's good, it's great, just keep working on it, or keep going. I just thought that was really a really awesome thing that Robert does. And he has his I believe he teaches as well.
Yeah.
And
he does master classes and stuff.
He
has a very sympathetic way to tell you that something's not 100%, and if you want to reach 100%, you should change it. And that's like, I mean, all artists are somehow like they are very like how you say it, sensitive with their music and their stuff. So if somebody says, yeah, maybe you could make it a little better, then it's like a world breaks down, for them. But I'm not the kind of guy. I can take feedback. So if I ask for feedback, I don't want to hear, oh, everything's amazing, everything's great. I want to learn from it, So you can tell me the truth, what you think about it, and I always know that this is one opinion, from this person. Maybe other people think differently about it, but yeah.
I have a story that I tell people sometimes when it comes to being that person in charge and selecting who is going to go on a show and who wasn't. It was one of my first ever executive producer gigs for a show I was producing, and it was a show that featured short films by independent producers. And I talked to a local film festival, and I got boxes and boxes of all the rejects that I was going to watch to see which ones didn't make the film list. There were some really great films in there. I mean, really great films. But I kind of, at the moment, I was about 50 into about 300 films. And I started having this little kind of mini panic attack. And the girl I was dating at the time, she says, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, what gives me the right to determine what is good and what is not? And I have to let these people know, sorry, your film wasn't good enough to make it in. But what gives me the right to say what is good enough and what isn't good enough? And I sat back for a few moments. I had a sip on a beer or two. And I said, you know what? I came to the conclusion that I'm producing a show. What I'm responsible to do is put content on there that's going to relate to my viewers and get more viewers on the show. And then because I'm also responsible to the sponsors that are paying money because they are looking to get eyeballs on the show. At that moment, I think that was my true executive producer moment that I said, it's about making sure good content and eyeballs are there to keep the sponsors and the dollars
of course.
in.
You're the filter in this moment. You're filtering it out.
I had never felt that before. And then why I bring this story into play is we're getting ready. We have some really big stuff in the works here that we're working up to ADE this year. But right after the first of the year, we're launching the DJ Sessions label.
Oh, nice.
And so, it's something it's a totally new era, a new side of the business that I've never been in. I've never done A&R. I've never, I mean, I get mixes and I listen to DJ mixes and I listen to this all the time, but listening to a track and deciding what's good for the brand and what isn't good for the brand, and how does that rejection happen? Do we just stonewall it and we just don't reply back, or we only reply back when we like something, and I'm the type of person, I look at my heart being like Robert's. Like, I want everyone to submit. I want to let everyone know this is awesome and thank you. Almost like a personalized, we got your submission and this is awesome. But, if we don't take the track, does that let somebody down, or do we encourage, hey, it didn't work for us? Please, I would suggest submitting this out there. But what if we get something that's really, really bad?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in this business for a long time now, and I'm still very passionate about every track I'm doing. And then of course, I have a vision where this track could fit, and then I'm sending it to a label. And of course, I want to hear, we signed it, it's great. But of course, still, it's like happening that they get rejected. And sometimes it's like a very nice way they answer, and they say it's great music, production is amazing, but it doesn't fit the direction of the label at the moment. I mean, that's like the typical kind of sentence you get. And but sometimes it's like people just say no, it's not for us, or it's like not very like personal email, very short, just a few words, and then you've waited for those words for 3 months, and you're just sitting on the track for 3 months. You think you have like just like this Rocket Jam, this amazing track, which should be out this summer, and then you can be sure it's not coming out this summer. It's too late already, because you were waiting for your favorite label. But that's the business. It's very slow sometimes. But I have a very, like I said the same in Robert's and Mark's show. He asked me the question. So what was like the longest waiting when I sent out a demo? And it was like 6 months. And I sent it to John Digweed for Bedrock. But in the end, so I had it. I can show it to you because I have it right here.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm with the track on this beautiful special vinyl edition, so that's like all worth the 6 months waiting. And Bedrock and John Digweed is so nice. He even signed it for me, and I got all the other stuff like CDs and T-shirts, and that's amazing.
Nice.
And, so it was all worth it, waiting for it, and then out of nothing, I got a call saying like, yeah, we want it. So, oh, great, cool. It's still free. Yeah.
Is Save Room Recordings the label that you still run right now?
So we still have this label because we opened it together. It's Niels Nuremberg. I had like, maybe my deep house project Kruse in Nuremberg from the past. I think we started like 2007 or something. And so we together in 2008 we founded Safe Room Recordings and started releasing stuff, and it was just like picking up. At the end, we had a label manager and someone responsible for social media and stuff, which was great, but also costs a lot of money every single month. And we had signed some great artists, like for example, we had Huxley on the label. We had like even Dusky signed in the very beginning under like a new another alias, and then who else? Sassy, like from Mute Music, and like a lot of good names on the early stage, and that was like a very great experience for me. We also were running label nights and stuff like that, so it was good fun. But also, and that's the reason why we paused in the end, it's a lot of work, and if you're touring, running a label, producing music, all that stuff, it's like really hard to manage everything all together.
Don't scare me away from doing it.
No. I'm at the point where I say I should start a label again. Maybe, press play again on Safe Room Recordings, or even start a new label. It definitely makes sense, and it's good to put out the music, because then you don't need to wait 6 months to get an answer, even if you get a great vinyl in the end, but you can release it straight away.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we're looking to do with our label is first work with our DJ producers that are in-house and release our own in-house stuff and get it out there, but then start opening the doors and the floodgates, just saying, okay, now we're focusing on this genre as our primary genre, but we want to open up into this genre of music and start focusing on that, and slowly but surely, like maybe once a year, open up to a new genre, maybe faster than that, but at least like look at what's hot, look what the trend is going. Like right now, I think it's, if I remember my reports that I was reading correctly from 1001 track list, tech house is pretty prominent right now. And I think house is following up, and techno is kind of coming through. And I'm hearing that a lot of people are saying techno's making a comeback, and where's that going to fit? So, if I'm looking at a label, I'm like, should we start looking and taking in tracks now that when techno hits and it takes over tech house or house, that now we got all these awesome techno tracks to start pushing out there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to be using a lot of guidance. I can't talk about who we're working with, but just had a wonderful conversation with them today
Nice.
about a partnership we're looking for ADE this year. We're super
Cool.
excited to be going to ADE for the first time this year, and all the people
Nice.
we're going to meet there. Are you going to be there this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love this event. Like ADE is such a great get together with all the business people, and it's like different to other conferences like Sonar, for example. In Sonar, it's at the sea, it's chilly. You can like hang out and listen to music at the beach and stuff. I love Sonar because I love Barcelona very much, one of my most favorite cities. But ADE is more about business. Like
Yeah.
people talk. It's rainy, so people can't hang out at the beach having beers in the morning. It's
Thank
more
you for
like,
that insight tip.
yeah. It's rainy, and then you see. I mean, we are both wearing black. Everyone wears black. You see, it's like just like you feel it's a death metal concert going on somewhere because everyone's black and black. Yeah, but that's great. I love it. I love ADE. I love Amsterdam. It's good.
That
But
means, oh, go
back
ahead.
yeah, back to your label just quickly. I have
Yeah.
just one thing in my head. It's like because you're well connected, you have your shows here. You're in touch with so many producers and DJs, and so you can just use this to request tracks and also request remixes. And yeah, I think that's a very good idea to run a label if you have something set up like those virtual sessions and being in touch with the whole electronic music scene. And the other idea I just had in my head while listening to you talking about everything, it's techno already took over in Germany. It's like
Okay.
sometimes it's different from country to country.
Mm-hmm.
You say tech house is on the forefront at the moment in the US still, but you feel like techno's pushing and coming up. And here it's like it was tech house some years ago, but now like I think since 3 or 4 years already, it's like everything's techno right now. So it's like pretty heavy and hard sound also in the German clubs at the moment. So it might change again. Indie dance is also coming up a little bit, and it's getting a bit more melodic. But yeah, banging techno is pretty famous right now.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see where the shift where it shifts and goes. In the U.S., I think it was Beyonce and Drake came out with
Yeah.
house albums, and
Wow.
everyone's kind of, I guess, losing their minds. I haven't looked at the socials on this, but I apparently saw somebody post that, oh, Beyonce and Drake came out with house music and they helped save house music, and it's like, no, they really didn't save house music. House music's been here the whole time. They
Yeah.
just wanted to enter into a crossover, into a
Yeah.
genre, and now everyone's like, "Wow, where'd this house music come from?" It's like we've been
Yeah.
listening to it for 40 years, like
Yeah. Yeah.
35 years. Like,
Yeah.
but it's interesting how that happens. But speaking of tracks and remixes, you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, you just finished a new remix recently. Tell us
Yeah.
little bit about that remix.
Yeah, so I've just recently been on a festival where Elke Klein, Paul Kalkbrenner, and yeah, some like big artists were playing. And I was backstage talking to Joplin, who also played a gig there on a cool stage. And I really loved her music, and I was working with her before and also for my upcoming album. So I said like this track was great, and she just sent me the stems for remix, and I just finished it last week, and I think it's coming out pretty quickly. It's like it's out in about a month or so. So yeah, I gonna be in the mastering studio in Berlin on Monday, and I think we're gonna finish the master like in this week. Yeah, next
I
week.
saw that. Was that studio somewhere where you also produced another track from that was like one of your first bigger hits, or have you worked at that studio before?
No, I don't think so. Like,
Okay.
no, it's called Black Hat Studios, and
Okay.
it's in Berlin. And Sassi is running it. Like, he's also a great artist, and I listened to his music since ages. Like, even before I had some music out, I was already buying his records. And he's such a great mastering engineer as well. Yeah. using all those cool analog stuff you want to see if you sit in the studio, you know. And you can definitely hear it on the master as well.
And you're in your home studio right now.
Yes,
Is that a Roland V Drum Kit I see over your back shoulder there?
Oh, it's not. This is an Elise's drum kit, because this is more for me and my son. He's
Okay.
like, I bought it for us, not only for him, but for us to get into it, you know, playing drums live. But the Roland stuff is, of course, it's like the best, I would say. And this is just like, it's also a good drum kit, you know. It's like, yeah, it's good quality for a good price, I would say. I'm also playing the guitar lately, and I started a year ago, and I'm also doing it with my son, just to have this musical education for him, and he's really into it. He loves it. But on the other side, you can't see it. It's right behind my MacBook. There's my Roland section where I have like the TRA, the MX1, the TB3 and stuff. And yeah, I love to stand in this corner as well. And my son loves it too. So he's like getting the full thing, you know, like sometimes, especially like when we have time on Sundays, we hang out here and do some music together.
I saw the video you made with those Roland toys, and it took me back to, I was just talking about this in an interview right before this, is that years ago, I got into video production, and as a young kid, I played with the video camera, but it was about in 2000, I ended up purchasing the Roland MC505 and the Roland SP808.
Yeah.
And just, that was, I mean, I loved it. I didn't know much about music production. I just loved the fact that I think I sat in the Guitar Center store for probably about 8 months playing with those two items before I actually bought them and took them home. And I think I bought the 505 first and then played around with that, and then got the 808 and midied them together. And I saw you made that little short video. You had all three of them right there on your stand, like you say, in the corner. I'm like,
yeah,
I know those dials. I know those buttons. I know what those. And the funny was, we had to use what were they called? They were the big discs, but they held 100 megabytes.
Yeah.
What were they called? What were those? They weren't zip. Were they zip discs?
No.
What were they called? They were called something. I can't remember, but they were a big, thick
floppy disk, or like.
It wasn't a. It was a floppy disk, but it held 100 megabytes on it.
100 megabytes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was called a zip disk.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, you had to put a zip disk in it and fill up, and you make your recordings on that. There were no external hard drives at that point, and even burning a CD was unheard of, you know. Sense of things like CD burners and computers, and
I started music with Akai.
Okay, yeah, S2000.
No, the 1000 I had later on. But I had the S20. I think that was the one Busta Rhymes was playing live with, you know, like when he was on the microphone, and sometimes he did some he shoot out some samples on the S20, and I really wanted to have this machine. And my brother, my older brother used to live in New York for some time, so when he came back, he brought me this machine from New York. And I still have it, but it's like upstairs. I can't work with this one anymore. Well, I'm still using my Mackie mixer, which is like 16 channel mixer, and I think I bought this one at the same time, like when they were producing in the US still. I think now everything coming from China, but back then it was produced in the US, and I'm still having this one integrated in my setup.
They're still headquartered here in the Seattle area.
You're wearing the T-shirt. I see. Yeah, great.
They're actually one of our sponsors. So
nice.
We love their gear. We love what they got. You know,
they
got
great stuff.
Mackie microphones and Mackie shirts, Mackie microphones, Mackie speakers. If you get a chance, go to our website and check out the mobile sessions.
Yeah.
And you'll see what we've done with our Glassbox mobile studio. We actually have 2 SR18s and 2 SRM15s that we put on the back of the truck. Yeah. And literally have a concert grade sound system on the back of the truck as we drive through the streets of Seattle. And we just took it out for a Pride Parade. And I think they estimate about 200,000 people out there up and down the streets of Seattle.
Wow.
or somewhere around that number. And it was awesome, just going down, driving really slow, just lighting up the block with this huge sound system. But yeah, Mackie has always been known to make some really solid gear. We're very happy with the partnership that we have with them. Speaking about being in the studio, though, how many tracks do you produce a month, and how many end up being released on average?
Wow, it differs. It really differs. For some reason, when I look at my hard drive, I'm most productive in the beginning of the year, like talking about January, February. Maybe it's because another year passed by and you realize, oh, okay, it's like a new year, but it's like very inspiring for me. Like January, February, new year starts, and what is going to come up this year, or what's happening maybe. So in this time, I'm producing like 3 tracks a month, I would say. But now in summer, I would say maybe 1 track a month. Yeah. And of course, I don't get everything signed, but I don't have so many started layouts on my hard drive. Normally, when I start a track, I finish it, like sometimes it happens, I start something in a loop and then I don't feel it anymore a day later. But normally when I start arranging, I gonna make it. I finalize it. And I have done 16 tracks in the last year, so I have a full album ready, and this one's coming up, I think, beginning of next year. So we start releasing stuff now on a monthly basis. I think like 5 single releases before the album drops. Yeah.
Do you feel that you've found a familiar pattern that you like? Like you mentioned, I produce a lot in the earlier of the year and then less so more later. Is it like a ramp up for summertime for outdoor club things, or do you have a pattern that you follow that like I want this many releases, or is it just 1 per month? That's the goal.
No. It's not really a goal I have. It's more, music is something that's just happening, and sometimes it's not happening because you're not inspired, you're not like into the right mood. It's just not, you're sitting here for hours and with the same bass drum, the same claps, and you can't find a bass line. It's just not. And then you find it, and you just go to the kitchen, come back with a coffee, and you feel like, no, it's not that. You delete. This is happening, and sometimes you're very inspired and you are very fast in doing stuff. And then if it comes directly from the heart, I think it's easy to sign it as well, because you're passionate about it and you can transform this energy to the label, hopefully. But this is something that happened with the Veen EP, for example. Mm-hmm. I think Julian and we finished those 3 tracks in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, like from starting with the first sketch up to the final self-master, and then sending it out to Mark Romboy. It was a very fast process, and
I can relate to that from a producer standpoint of producing a show, where there's something I'll be all into something and then just hit a roadblock.
Yeah.
And then I'll just like, okay, I'm just going to stop doing this. And then maybe come back 2 weeks later, I sit down, and 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh, fire it off. It's done.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you just get to that point and you just can't tip it over for some reason. And I had that. I just had something that we just got approved and launched today that I had been trying to do probably about, I'd say almost three years ago. I was looking to launch our channels to Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, and Apple TV. And I started down that process, and I got it to the point of this point right here. And then it just didn't go anywhere. And I left it behind. I left it wayside. 2 weeks ago, I wake up, I said, you know what? I want that again. Hired myself a dev, and today we just got approved on Roku. We're getting approved on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. And we can do live streaming now there too. So I'm just like, yes, this is awesome. And it's just that, set it down, focus on other stuff, come back. And like I said, that was 3 years in the making. And I was back here thinking about doing it. Then all of a sudden just said, hey, why didn't where am I at with that? And next thing you know, it's like, boop, and it pops up. So that I can understand or at least relate to that creative process where you might hit some. Although I don't ever hit the delete button. If I have
Okay.
something I want to do it, I never say trash that idea and don't do it. I may do it and then realize I don't want to do this, but I don't get to the point like, no, okay, no, but I can relate to that. So in the future, you got your album coming up, probably going to release that in the beginning of next year. If you could give one production tip or insight to new producers out there, what would that be?
Be very picky with your bass drum. Make sure, because most of the people start with the bass drum just to have like a rhythm, and the bass drum is really like the heartbeat of the track, and it's really, really hard. If you're a bit lazy in the beginning, just say, yeah, this bass drum fits, and then later on you feel like, the track is amazing, but I think I need a new bass drum. That's like the worst scenario. So be very picky with the bass drum, and then you're fine. That's my tip.
I appreciate that. No, and going over to looking at things like services like Beatport, you recently posted something about the Beatport chart up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's the first time I ever saw that. So
the Beatport chart, a Beatport chart. Yeah, it's like that's something I do on a regular basis. I mean, maybe every second or every third month, I'm doing a Beatport chart. It's like a bit like my 10 for the Club series. It's like just 10 tracks I love, and I want to share those tracks with other artists and other people. And Beatport, the platform Beatport supports artists doing it. So it's it's like a win-win situation for both. So they have some content on their site, and I have some feedback from my fans or from the audience, who's listening to music, and maybe they say like, wow, it's a great collection of tracks. Yeah.
And do you think that Beatport will have another serious competitor in the next few years, or do you feel they can kind of maintain a monopoly on what's been going on?
Wow, that's like also another difficult question, because everything changes so quickly right now. Like even like with Beatport Link, for example, like now you can stream tracks like with the new technology, with the pioneers, the DJs, for example, and stuff, playing with wireless internet and stuff. It's I mean, I still be safe with my USBs or my SD cards or something, just like old school. I mean, now I say old school. Back in the days, it was just traveling with vinyls, like heavy vinyls, or after that, like lots of bags full with CDs. And now it's just like a USB stick you're traveling with, or maybe 2 or 3. And that's it. And now you're just thinking about like, skip that, I just travel with myself, and there should be a good internet connection in the club. I can just stream it from my profiles, so it's like very interesting what's going to happen. But what I feel is we should never forget about like that the artists need to earn money in the end of the day. Like not only the DJs with like high-end DJ fees, when they are big, but also like the productive people in the studios. Maybe those who are not so visible on social media because it's not that thing, There are many talented people out there doing great productions. And I think this part at the moment is not paid on a fair basis. That's my feeling. Because everyone included in the release, For example, you have like someone doing the artwork, a graphic designer. He gets the normal fee, what he gets per hour. Which is a good amount. Then you have the mastering engineer. Of course, he's getting his fee for it. And then you have the artist who has like to pay for the costs, normally 50%, and then hopefully gain some money if the release is going well on Beatport and other platforms. But sometimes you even have a top 10, and it's not even covering the costs you get from the label, like after social media campaign, in-flight or FedRock or whatever promo campaigns, and then what else? you know, and you see, wow, I had a top 10 track, but in the end, I made 100 euros with the full release because everyone else was just already earning so much money with this. And yeah, and there's my name on this product, and I have put in all my heart blood into this, and I'm the guy who's just getting just this little bit.
What is your take on NFTs and being able to possibly say, look, we're going to work on this album together, but as it's an NFT, maybe the graphic designer gets a percentage and the artist gets a percentage, and everyone gets kind of their negotiated upon percentages for that track selling, and then you sell 10,000 of those and everyone's getting a little percentage of those, and those resell again. They're getting residual percentages over and over again.
Yeah, sounds actually like a fair idea, but I don't know how this because you have to write everything in contract, and then in the end you have to make sure, okay, is that really the percentage everyone gets? And it's hard to control in the end as well, and also like a lot of work for the label then, right? Because the label has to, like, every 6 months to make sure they're going to transfer the right amount to the right people involved. So yeah,
you got a good point there. Wow.
Yeah, it's tricky because they sit there with their hundreds releases after years, and then they have each release involved 5 people and have to transfer the money to all those 5 people.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and please, NFT people out there, do not murder me or kill me or hit me up in my DMs or cancel culture me for any of this. I think the payouts, once you tie the wallets in, it automatically disperses to the crypto wallets. Once the transfer is made.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to manage. I don't think there's a management there. I think it's like, and it automatically tells it when you make it where to put the funds.
And automatically, right?
Puts it in the Coinbase wallet. I mean, you'll get a transaction and saying this sold and this gave you your percentage. So hopefully, that back end management would be a nightmare. You know,
that's the response I get from label managers when I'm saying, like, okay, we have a vocal artist on the track, and then we have another 2 musicians involved, and they have a little percentage. Can we please make sure they get it transferred as well? And then normally the label says, no, I transfer it to you, and then you can just spread it. You can spread it. Exactly. Yeah, that's your job, not my job. Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and speaking of technology, you know, it moves pretty fast in music and DJ land. NFTs are kind of the new buzzword, new thing going on, but have you looked to doing anything in virtual reality, or have you been asked to do anything in VR yet?
I've visited a VR session for the famous Berlin club Watergate. So they had like this virtual club going on, or a test session going on during Corona. And it was, it was fun. I was standing in the kitchen with my wife. We had a few drinks. It was just like dancing to the music the DJ played. And then the funny thing is, when you went outside, like there's have you been to Watergate, to Berlin before?
No, I have not.
No. Okay, it's such a great club, and they have like this outside area which is based on the Spree, which is the lake in Berlin, and with a very nice view on the Universal building, which is on the other side of the river. And then you can chill outside a little bit. And when, like, on the virtual club, when you went outside, the microphone was open and you were listening to all the people talking who were in the same room. And then I was just hearing a voice I knew. There was a friend of mine. He's running the Mobile label. It's Ralph, and he was just testing it out at the same time. It was really cool to, hey, you're here tonight as well. Great, like it felt. Yeah, it was just a bit scary as well, but also a nice experience.
We're super excited to see where VR is going. I've always been an early adopter to new technologies. Yeah. We started in public access television and then went to broadcast television, and then moved into podcasting and then live streaming, and obviously bringing in social media into that play as well. But we're seeing virtual reality as kind of being the next website. the next
Yeah.
branding opportunity,
Yeah.
the next social opportunity on many levels. It won't replace the in-world nightclubs, of course, but from a branding or social media or online kind of presence, that opportunity I think is going to be huge for a lot of artists to jump on and own their own little slice of land. I mean, virtual land it's actually a commodity. There was somebody who bought, I think they paid $100,000 or $150,000 to buy the land next to Snoop Dogg's land,
Wow.
and so you have these major artists that are going in, and then the land around them will sell for money, and then the traffic that it brings in, you can go off and sell that land to McDonald's for $300,000, and or something like that. Sell it to Starbucks or something, and have the Starbucks next to, that's going to really start happening. I've been watching that unfold for a number of years, but we're super excited for that. Have you ever experimented in mixing when you're DJing, mixing audio and video at the same time?
Yes. Yeah, because I was running a live project for a couple of years. So I think you see on the other side there, that's the album, or
Yeah.
like this is just like the project was called The Ground, and I was doing it together with a very talented singer. His name is Henrik Burkhardt. And we had releases on Steve Buck's label Poker Flat, for example, and on Joris Vaughn's Green imprint, stuff like that. And Noir Music, we released a lot on Noir's labels too. And then we started doing a live performance. So we got like a little sponsoring from Roland. That's also a reason why I have so many Roland machines here. And that was when the IRA series came out, and so like the whole live session was based on Roland IRA machines, and then him on the microphone and with the keyboard. So, and on top of this, because normally when you go into a club, you can bring all your great equipment. Normally the people from the dance floor won't see it because the DJ booth is not made for it, they normally have their mixes and stuff, but they just see you doing some knobs, that's it. And that's why we decided to do some visuals as well. So we created together with a visual artist visuals to our music. And we spent so many hours with him, and also like finding a topic for each track, and then finding all those pictures we want to use and little videos, and we're recording stuff on our own, and then bringing everything together. It's just like such a huge workload. But in the end it was worth it because it looked nice. I have some good videos from the shows, and it was great.
Was that MIDI mapped as well, or was it
just? We were playing live with Ableton, and then Ableton has the opportunity to you can have this video in Ableton at the same time, like a video track. So it was just like an MP4, I think, on the video track, and then with a Thunderbolt cable out to the other guy who's responsible for bringing it on the screen.
the video guy, video guy, like the lighting guy, the video guy, the audio guy.
That's right.
Awesome. What's been your best business decision in favor of your career? If you can think of the best decision that you've ever made in favor of your career.
The best decision I've made is to do something I'm passionate about, and to do something not because it brings the biggest amount of money, but to do something that I can go to work each and every day and to love what I'm doing. I think that's like the best decision you can make. I think I just saw like a video on Instagram from Snoop Dogg, and I think he was saying exactly the same. Like, don't go for the money, go for what you're passionate about, and the money comes if you're with a success, because you love what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people do go in it with the dreams of, I want to be the big name DJ. I want to be the big, and and get the money. And that's not a realistic goal.
No.
I remember one of the first things I ever was told, it was the person I interviewed before I interviewed Paul Oakenfold, one of my first celebrity interviews. long, like 2009. It was for another series I was producing.
Yeah.
And I asked the person, Darren Chilson, I said, hey, is there overnight successes in this business? And he goes, no. Everybody that's got to be successful has been doing this for years. They put in the grind, they put in the work, and you see the success now. And it looks like they're overnight sensations, but they've been doing a lot of legwork and a lot of years of putting stuff in. And then finally that may be it. And a lot of the people that sometimes get right to that point, they may decide that's not what I really want to do. I want to play. I want to be like this. I've heard a lot of, people that have been in the industry for a long period of time have said, you know what I really like to do? Not chase after that. I like to have control of what I want to do.
Absolutely. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And say, now I get time. I can choose what gigs I want to play. I can choose what events I want to produce. And I can also choose to spend time with my family or take time off and do what I want to do. And I think being an entrepreneur like that, that was one of my goals of wanting to own my own company, was so that, or I should say companies, was so that I could have the freedom to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I was in charge. I didn't have to submit a report to this person, to submit a report to this person that went to the vice president of the division. And then they said no. And now I'm back to square one going, well, now what do I do for this quarter? If I don't come up with something now, I'm fired. It's like, that's not fun for me. So, being able to control though your ideas and control your vision, I think is awesome. And it seems like you're doing very successful with that. And that's awesome.
I'm very satisfied how it goes right now. And also having time for my family is something that's really important to me as well, because you don't want, you need to spend time with your kids and your family. Otherwise it's not, I think it's not working, but maybe for other people it works. But I want to have this balance between both lives, being around, doing what I love, being happy with my work, and then also have time for the kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm. If you could take one non-famous person and put them in the spotlight, somebody who you believe is not famous, put them in the spotlight, who is not a family member and not a friend, who would that be and why?
Okay, that's now with not a family member, not a friend. That's hard. Okay, let me think. It's a very good question, actually. I got this question a couple of years ago on the radio station as well, and I named a guy, but he's now he became a good friend of mine, so I can't name him again. So let me think. Who's doing great music I love to play, and I feel it's like it should be bigger than it is at the moment. I was just you see, it's not coming straight up, because one guy just hit this point. His name is Christian Nielsen, and but he's in the game for a long time, and he released on amazing labels. But now he made it to Solo Moon's booking agency, and now he's playing all those great festivals and all those great shows, and it's well deserved, because he's doing since years so many great tracks, and it was a little underrated in my feeling. So that's one name, but of course he's now at the point already, so he's good. So who else? Maybe I just need to click through my music folder. I just down, I have those folders, where I get the promos and stuff. There's one girl from Ukraine. Her name is 8Case. I don't know if you have heard of her.
8Case.
No, okay. So she's doing great music. I just met her once at a DJ gig in Berlin at Ritter Butzke, when that was the last gig I played before everything got closed because of Corona. And I met her there, and she's not only a great DJ but also a very, very good producer.
Awesome. Thank you for those insights. People, go check out those names right now. The ones to watch for. Florian, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going?
Sorry, once again? Sorry.
Oh, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know before we let you go?
So I talked about the album.
Yep.
So first album single is coming soon. It's a collaboration with Kevin Knapp. I don't know if you have heard of him. He's from San Francisco, like very, very cool guy. And yeah, so watch out for this release to come up.
Awesome. And where can people find out more information about you?
Of course, on my Instagram, on my SoundCloud, on my Facebook. Yeah, that's like easy to find. Oh yeah, yes, Florian Kruse official. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, go there and then have a look into my content and my stuff. And yeah, I'm also want to give more production tips in the future. That's something I have on my list. Yeah.
Awesome, Florian. Well, thank you so much for coming on the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. Don't forget, we'd love to follow up with you in 6 months, find out what's going on, because it's going to be right around that album time release. We'd love to invite you over to the VR nightclub too, and maybe we can collaborate and do a release party in there or something for you.
Please, let's be in touch.
If you ever want to get a tour, let me know. Hit me up online. I'll be more than happy to give you a tour of beta and entry in Altspace.
Nice. Thank you very much. Also for this great chat. Like,
absolutely
really enjoyed it every minute.
You're welcome, Florian. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. And on that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, all the places out there. Easiest way to do it is on thedjsessions.com. And don't forget Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google Play and Apple TV coming up soon. I'm Darren. That's Florian, coming in all the way from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington for the virtual sessions. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.